Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cake Coach Online. Glad that you're here. I hope you're here anyway. Today, I'm really excited to Sarah Hall. She's going to be one of our ladies and our guest experts on our new the Cake Circle membership. And I'm quizzing her today because I was really interested to find out that she not only has a marketing tool that she uses to train people, but she used to have a cake decorating business. So that was really intriguing to me. So I thought, oh, lovely. I've got somebody that I can quiz about cake decorating. So welcome, Sarah. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you. And thank you so much for inviting me to do this. Obviously, combining cakes and marketing is my favourite thing in the world. So
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. And the intrigue of it all. So how long ago did you start your cake decorating business?
I started about 2012, so quite a while ago now, and I ran it for about 2 to 3 years. So,
Right.
like many people, it started out as a hobby, doing it for friends and family. And
Yeah.
then I did it full time for about a year, and then I continued doing it kind of on the side, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So
So what
yes.
so what would you say went well in that time that you were running your business?
I was really surprised at how quickly it grew, actually, just by posting up photos online, creating a Facebook page. And, like anything, if people tell others about it, then it soon is that domino effect. So one person tells the next, and then they order a cake, and then they tell all their friends. So
Yeah.
quite quickly, I had a bit of a community going that would order all their cakes from me. So
Yeah.
so that went quite well. Facebook page grew quite quickly as well, quite organically, without
Yeah.
having to do any real paid
Paid
advertising or anything
advertising.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So in hindsight, what now that you know, because you then transitioned from the cake decorating, because you ran that for how many years did you do
About
that?
3 years in total.
Okay. So then you
Yeah.
transitioned more into marketing. So now, of course, you've got the benefit of hindsight looking through the lens of the marketing. What could you have done differently as your cake decorating business?
So much.
I
So
bet.
much. I think because it was the first business that I ran, I never really ran it as a business. I ran it
Yeah.
more as a hobby, really. I never really had a full grasp on what my costs actually were. So looking at overheads, looking at even just petrol costs, of going to and from the shops, buying ingredients, I never really factored any of that in. And because a lot of the cakes that I was making was for friends and family, I definitely wasn't charging enough. So I wish
If
I'd had
at all, to
well, exactly, yes, there is
the
that. So
family,
if I'd
because
had
it's
your
always
cost
a could
calculator.
could you just
Yes, yes, exactly. So host family was always a challenging one. So because you was having to buy them presents as well as making the cake, and
yeah,
you're thinking, hang on.
yes,
So there was that side of it, and just I think just the know-how of actually running a business, what that looked like, what, policies, procedures, regulations. If
yeah,
I'd had all of that in a box that I could have gone, okay, well, stage one is this, stage two is that. I think, sometimes you hit the ground running with cake making and you're making cakes and you don't have time for anything else.
yeah,
So I think, and also from a marketing perspective, I definitely didn't make the most use of the information that I had. So, for
yeah,
example, I would never ask people for their email address. So then how could I then follow up?
yeah,
I think this now, because I focus on automation and help people with their processes and kind of
yeah,
automate things and streamline things, it's a lot easier now that I know all the tools that you can use to do that. Whereas
yeah,
back then I was just purely using Facebook really for
yes,
communication, and that was it.
yeah,
So I think there's a lot I would do differently, and also how you take the photos. So I
yeah.
would take a photo on my cooker, and that would be it, really. You know, I wasn't as bad as taking them in the box, but I would, you know,
My favourite rant.
just about, unless I was really running late, which would often happen. But yeah, so I think, you know, I use a tool and I teach people how to use Canva. If I'd known that tool was available then, you know, it would have made a massive difference.
Yeah. Was it even available in 2012? I don't know whether Canva was.
I think it was just in development then. I think it's about 8 years old. So, you know, it's gone from strength to strength really. So it first got developed in Australia by a woman actually. So yes, so not that really matters, but you know, so
yeah, amazing. So what do you use Canva for then? Explain to our viewers what Canva is if they've never heard of it.
So Canva is I always describe it as is a graphic design tool for people that aren't graphic designers. Yeah. So it's a very easy and simple drag and drop system that allows you to either use your own photos, use videos, use their stock photos. I mean, if you pay for the Pro, I think you have access to something like 80 million photos. So it is massive. They bought out Pexels and Pixabay, so everything is now within the same tool. So I mean, obviously with Kate, you want to really be taking your own photos rather than using stock photos. But you know, it's so easy to layer things, to put text on, to create videos, to create carousels for Instagram. You know, there's just so much you can do with it that makes it so much easier than it used to be. And you can use your phone. They've got a really good app as well. So
yeah, brilliant. Yes, I've just started getting into Instagram. So I'm big on Pinterest, but it's I thought, well, I need to learn Instagram now. So yes, it's quite intriguing when I look through other people's feeds of people that are on there, and then I spot now that I'm learning more about it, it's like, oh, they've got that bit missing, or they've got that bit missing, and nobody can click through to anything because they haven't put anything to click, you know. So it's quite intriguing once you know the effort that you put in and what actually, you know, for that same effort, if you just put the final bit in, which is what I was just saying to you earlier about taking the photographs in the, not in the box, people, but taking a photograph of your cake and then actually sending it with your website on there or your handle from Instagram on it, send it to your customer and go, thank you for the order. And that lady might know 500 people and she might ping it out on her Facebook feed or her Instagram thing. And suddenly, without you paying for advertising, somebody who's delighted with your work has just done the work for you. It's like, hello.
Yeah.
You know, but you can't do that if you've taken it in the box on a cooker with the dirty, you know, saucepan behind it, because it was just, oh, I'll take a picture quick, you know. No.
And I think that's one of the things, you know, that if I'd known then what I had really and the access to social media, I mean, you know, social media has grown even more in the last 9 years, but you know, just the fact that you've got a physical product that you can showcase and taking people on a journey as well. So, you know, don't just take photos of the finished product, take photos of you making the toppers, making even covering the board and putting the ribbon round, you know, because I think in the cake community, there's always two audiences. There's the potential customer who might order a cake from you, but also the cake community itself is massive. And it's a really supportive community. So there's people that want to learn from you. There's people that you can share things with. You can support each other. So, I mean, I did a how-to when I was, I think I made an R2D2 cake, and I put the various stages of the cake and how I carved it and what I did. And it got so much engagement because people are just interested in how you put these things together. You know, and that might not necessarily be relevant to a potential customer, but it's really relevant in the cake community. So, you know, sometimes you can be known as an expert in that particular field. You know, you've got people who make the flowers and who are brilliant at it. And I collaborated with another cake maker who she made the wedding cake and then I made the flowers. And I think that's great when you can support each other and, you know, but unless I'd posted photos of the flowers, she would never have known.
You were no. I saw somebody just recently, they'd made a little topper of Scooby-Doo. And she said she was going to go across to Etsy with her. I mean, she was obviously really, really good at cake modelling, and she was thinking of just putting that onto Etsy to sell the little models, which I thought, well, yeah, why not? If you've got a skill in modelling, because not everybody, that's the one thing with cake decorating, the skills are so vast. And in my Cash for Cakes course, you know, one of the first things that I teach in that is like, what are you actually good at out of all of this huge kaleidoscope of talents that is called cake decorating? There's something that probably you're better than something else, because if the teacher said to me, make a run out of something, which was obviously, that's very old fashioned because I'm a bit older than you, but you know, it's like, well, please don't, because it will break and it will be horrible, and you know, whichever. And thank goodness they went out of fashion, so we'll be able to do that. But it's concentrating on what you're actually good at and then becoming an expert in that field. And a lot of the girls, they try to be an expert in everything. So if they go, I can do a buttercream flour cake, well, they've never made a buttercream flour cake ever before in their life. There's other girls that are actually knocking it out the park with these beautiful creations that are just absolutely stunning. And then at the end of it, they don't take a really very good picture of it.
And I think that's the key thing. I mean, I made some cakes that I definitely was not proud of. You know, I remember making some a wedding cake topper, and actually it is on my page if you want to go and have a look. But
I will now.
Yeah, but it was just, you know, and I felt for the bride and the groom, because I thought, oh my God, if that was my cake topper, I'd be mortified. It just wasn't my thing, and I shouldn't have said yes. You know, I knew it wasn't really my thing. I was much better at the kind of cartoony toppers, at the flower making. I enjoyed that. But and it just wasn't. And I made another cake for someone that was supposed to be Disney themed, and it really wasn't. And you know, but I think that's the thing in the cake business. You know, you do have to learn sometimes by doing things, and I think that's true for any business. I mean, this is now. I ran a co-working business last year, and that was very different because that was physical premises, and I completely underestimated what it took to, you know, paying the bills, to having memberships, people coming in, you know, buying tea and coffee, what that all, you know, I ran a networking event. So, you know, of course, that's very different to running a cake business, but the same principles apply, but you've still got to learn. And you've got to wear every single hat going. You're the marketing person, you're the finance person, you're the, you know, the operations director. So, you know, I think it's important to take time out for you as well. And I think anyone who runs their own business struggles with that, because especially in the cake industry where you're working Wednesday to Sunday, you know, or Wednesday to Saturday, and it's intense for those days. But then do you actually take time off on a Sunday and a Monday when it's quieter? You know, most of us probably don't. So
no. And are they charging enough? I mean, that's one of the things that I find people posting on Facebook. You know, how much for this cake? They just put it up on Facebook or Instagram. How much for this? And it's like, depends how much you paid for all of the ingredients actually, and how long did you take doing it. It's like, oh, I haven't got a clue. And because my background was in helping interior designers do timesheets, of course my whole, you know, I'm sort of laser focused on how long did it take you, how much did it cost, you know, have you made a profit on it. And you know, seeing people just go, don't really know, and they're flailing, which is why I thought, well, I'm going to make a membership and see if I can help. Which is, thank you very much, Sarah. You're going to be one of our guest experts to speak longer on the 30th of March. You're booked in for.
Yeah.
But the cake circle, which is very exciting, is going to open its doors for registration on the 1st of March. And we've got so much, and I bet you wish you'd had it all those years ago.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, we've got, here's the list at the moment. We've got somebody talking on allergens. That's really important because all the allergen rules are going to change in October, apparently. So you've got to be really, really careful with your allergies. We've got a brandings and graphics lady that you know. I've got a lady who had a cookie business online. I've got a lady who specialises in food photography, so taking pictures on her phone and making them look marvellous, which I'm really interested in. That somebody who's helping organise. She does organising money. I've got a Pinterest expert. I've got a sales and confidence expert. I've got social media for the food industry, which is interesting. So somebody that knows about Facebook and Instagram as well. Video photography. We've got somebody that knows about all the laws that you need if you've got shameless plug for the order pad that's behind me there. If you've got my order pad and you're in the UK, you need to have terms and conditions in an ideal world, because then people know, you know, what are the boundaries of what I'm allowed to do. And we've got you as our Canva expert. I've got email marketing coming up. There's just so much that you can teach cake decorators as if they're running a business, and pricing and finding customers and retaining. It costs, you know, customer retention. When you speak to the cake decorators, they say, oh, you know, I don't like to be pushy, and I know where they're coming from. I don't like to push myself onto somebody, but you've already got a delighted customer. Why would you not send them a little note and say, hi, you know, how are you doing? I mean, I did hear a really sad tale of somebody saying, oh my God, I had this amazing cake from somebody. It was a christening cake. And then go down the line 2 years, and the lady wanted to order another cake, but she'd completely forgotten what this lady's name was. And it's like, she was really disappointed because she had to go and find a different maker, because she'd never had any communication from that lady since that point in time. And it's like, you had a happy customer. Why did you sort of wave her off with a box and she danced down your garden path, and it's like, bye, I'll never talk to you ever again, that's it, bye. Because I don't want to appear pushy. And
and that's what I was saying earlier. You know, I never took anyone's email addresses down, and now that I know what I know about email marketing, I would definitely have that regular interaction with people, and just, even if it's just a hello, this is what I've been up to this month. People are so interested in what's going on inside people's worlds, you know. So even if you just simply talk about, I did this amazing cake, actually people will be interested, and they keep seeing your name every month, so they won't forget you. So when they need to order the cake for their nan or their mum or whoever, they'll go, oh yeah, I had a cake from Sarah or Karen. You know, it's, you know, they'll automatically come back to you. If they don't know you're there, they forget you, because life moves on and they forget.
Yeah, exactly. I did hear of a cake decorator that was very busy doing wedding shows, but she didn't actually do email marketing. So she got all of these email addresses, and it's like, without the system, because we were talking before we came on live, we were talking about, there's some comments here. I haven't even got my comments switched on here. Oh, hello, Britannia, if you're here. That's our craft. It's going to be our craft expert. So yeah, you can't see them if you've got your banners up. But what was I saying? Yeah, she got all of the email addresses, but never actually did anything with them. And it's like,
no. And I think that's the thing. I think, you know, and obviously you'll teach this in your, you know, your cake circle, but I think just being really savvy about getting yourself out there, and not being shy about what you do and the skill set that you've got. And you know, people really, they do value that. And I think obviously things have changed so much over the last year, and hopefully now, as we're hoping to, you know, come out of things, and as things start to change, I think now is a real opportunity, because people are now starting to book things. They're starting to think, oh, you know, those weddings that got postponed, the parties that got postponed. There's a real opportunity out there for cake makers, but they've got to, you know, kind of grasp it. And
the other thing that's huge at the minute is these treat boxes. Now, I know a young lady who has literally just put her price up another £5, and what's that? Probably another $8 or whatever, because she's got so many people queuing up for her boxes. She can't actually cope with the demand, so she should put her price up. Now she's at like £40 for a treat box. The way she presents them is absolutely beautiful. Then I see other people putting treat boxes up on Facebook, and they go, this is £15. Is it okay? It's like, okay, well, that's weird, because there's people selling treat boxes for £40. So there's this extra money that is not being charged, because maybe somebody said, oh, I don't want to charge too much because I feel sad that people can't afford it. It's like, you can act like that if you wish. Of course you can, and gift your time and talents out to everybody, and gift half of your pantry out as well, because you haven't priced it properly, if you want to carry on being a hobby person. But if you're going to be a business, then seriously, things have got to change, because you can't just keep giving it away for free, and your time, because how does that work?
No, and I think that's the thing. When I started to work out that actually I was making cakes for less than £2 an hour profit, you know, I just thought, I can't continue to do it. And that's, you know, that's what's different. You know, I'm 9 years on, and I've learned a lot about running a business. I would never run my cake business now how I ran it then, but we all have to learn, and we have to learn through our mistakes, and, you know, go on that journey ourselves, and then look back and go, okay, well, I did that, that's fine. I would do it differently this time, you know. But if I'd had the opportunity to, and later on, actually, I did do that. So when I started my business as a virtual assistant, I did buy kind of, you know, everything that you do in the cake circle, but it was for virtual assistants, and it was so useful, because it was specific to that industry, and it meant that I didn't have to go and spend hours and hours researching things. So, you know, and I think that's the thing, you kind of learn that, yes, you try to do everything, but there's only so many hours in the day, and when you're making cakes as well on top, it's 12-hour days and no sleep. So
and not pricing the time properly, because if they price the time properly, they're frightened of losing the order. But if they actually position the order, the conversation, you know, there's ways of positioning an order with a potential customer, is having a conversation with a customer, rather than just like pinging messages out on WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever. Because if you just ping out something that goes, oh, that'd be £45 or $55 or whatever, and then the customer comes back and goes, no, that's too expensive, it's almost like end of conversation. It's like, well, if you'd had a real conversation, you could have said, well, I can make it for X, but my prices start from Y. And, you know, it's communication via these little messaging things is very convenient, but actually, unless you've got a range of, this is my 10 cakes that I make, and every, you know, you can have it in pink or you can have it in blue, and this is the size and this is the price, and therefore there's not much of a conversation to have. If you're actually selling bespoke cakes that need tweaking and colours discussing and all the rest of it, I can't see really how you do that without actually having a proper conversation.
No, and I think also the key is knowing who your ideal customer is. You know, it's great baking for friends and family, but at the end of the day, they're not your ideal customer, you know, because you don't want to charge them loads of money. But, you know, you have to know who your market is. You know, is that celebrities? Is it, you know, your next door neighbor? Is it, you know, what kind of lifestyle are they living, so that then you, in your marketing, that's who you then talk to. So because everybody's got a certain style of cake, you know, you could look for inspiration online and create a cake that looks like someone else's, but it'll always have your stamp on it. You know, it'll always have your style, it'll always have your colouring, it'll have, you know, whatever your style is. No two cakes are ever the same. Unless you go to Asda. But, you know,
of course,
and we don't recommend that, do we? Because what are cheap cakes?
There's lots of E numbers in that. You really don't want to be doing that. You wait till I get my hands on the allergen lady. I can't wait to interview her. But yes, so amazing. So thank you ever so much for being with us, and thank you for just sharing a little bit of your knowledge. But we're having you back for the members in the Cake Circle. Let me just put my banner up. If anybody, we're on a wait list at the moment, but we're going live on Monday the 1st of March with the registration page. So if you go onto that wait list, Cake Circle membership sorry, it's a really long one. That's techies for you. I didn't make it up. If you go onto the wait list, we can let you know when the page has gone live, and it will tell you lots more. But we've got so much coming up. Not only have I got a whole host of experts that I'm going to interview, we've got two lovely Cake Circle craft tutors who are going to be demonstrating live, which is really exciting because most memberships just go, here's a bunch of perfectly formed videos and go away and watch them, and if it all goes horribly wrong, you've got nobody to say, excuse me, but I tried that last week and it all sort of collapsed or whichever. One of the things about having the craft tutors available to answer questions is like to have the support and encouragement that you don't get if you just join a membership with the videos. More like being at an evening class where you can actually ask the tutor. So we have that, we have mindset with me, and we also have a coffee with Karen, whereby I realise that a lot of the cake decorators are all working from home alone, and actually it's quite lonely being a cake decorator, and it's nice to have some companionship. So we're putting on some times, and most of them are going to be on a Saturday or a Monday, because I'm very aware that how frantic the cake decorators get from Wednesday through to Friday until the cakes are all ready. So that we can actually spend time together, and if they're coming to the Coffee with Karen session, they can tell us their wins, they can share. They've got some people that are in the same boat as them, building a business up. So yeah, that's what we're doing, and I'm really excited to get my hands on all these experts.
I think Britannia's really looking forward to it as well, because she's just put exciting, messy action. So
yes, if we do nothing else, we will have fun. I know for sure with Britannia and our other lovely lady Terry. It's going to be really great because we can ask the girls what they're struggling with, what they want to learn, and then we can challenge Britannia and Terry to say, oh, the girls would like to do this week, and see what can happen. And it all could go horribly wrong, and it could all go marvelously right. We will not know until we do it. So that's it, really. So brilliant. But we'll see you on the 30th, isn't it? The 30th of March.
30th of March. Can't wait. Excited.
30th of March when I interview you again once for all. Or I think you're doing. I'm not talking to you that time. I think you're doing a presentation to tell people how to. Is that right?
So we'll go through Canva and what the capability of it. So I'll show you the free version and the paid version, and we'll really talk about how you can use it in your cake business. So how you can create content for your social media pages, how you can create potentially a lead magnet, a download that people can, because people love tutorials, people love to know how to do things. So you can create all of that in Canva. So so I'll show you we'll show your members how to use it.
Fabulous. Well, Thank you very much. And that's over and out from London, UK, really.
Thank you very much, Karen.
Thanks ever so much. And I should speak to you on the 30th.
Okay.
Take
See
care.
you soon.
Bye,
Bye.
Britannia. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.